So when we do Boomi SFDC account sync, right? Okay. So when we are going to call parent process to sub process, right? So this is the parent process where it is we are calling error handling. A Boomi SFDC account sync is error handling is this is a parent process. We are calling an error handler that is sub process. Okay. Calling process is parent process. Called process is nothing but sub process. Okay. Okay. So not only here, we are going to call parent and sub process. Okay. So we are going to call when we are going to use process call shape, right? When we are going to use parent call, we are calling a sub process from parent process. We are going to use process call shape. Mainly we are going to use process call shape. And so we are going to divide our tasks into multiple. Suppose our integration is too large. Okay, we have many steps required to while integrating different systems. We have many business rules. I mean, business rules is nothing but business activities. Okay, business logic. So we have many business logics we need to write into single process. Then in that case, then what will happen? So our integration length will be too much. This is a small one, so if we have large process, a lot of activities, lot of shapes and lot of business logic which we want to write, there might be that process will be we have a lot of length. Then in that case, what will happen? So every logic, if you want to write in the single process, then it's going to be wide, right? So in that case, we are going to divide those tasks into multiple sub tasks. Okay, so we can write some of the tasks into one process, and so similar kind of steps we can going to write into one process. Like that, we are going to divide our large task into multiple tasks, and we are going to write each task into single process. So we are going to combine all these tasks, means we are going to call one process to other process. Means we are going to divide large task into multiple tasks into, we are going to write into all separate tasks or a separate process. We are going to call from one process to other process. Okay. So in that case, we are going to use a process call shape. Okay. So everyone easily can understand. Okay. That is one reason we are going to use process call shape. And one more thing is, that is nothing but easy for understanding. So when newcomers will come, then he is going to be understand easily. So what is that? So if we write everything in one task, one process, then it will be large, right? So it's going to be little bit mess. It is not going to be understood by new users who are new joiner in that project. So that is the case. We are going to divide those tasks into multiple process for easy understanding. Okay. So suppose let me stop this one. We can show you last time already. Last time, I will show you, right? We have we are calling from EDI, and we have some subtasks. Okay. So parent process, we are getting the files from AWS, and then sub process we are storing the database. Right, the data, whatever the record details are coming, those data we are storing into another process.
Correct, yeah.
Right. So first process only thing is getting all list of files, and from that list of files, and we are getting one by one. And after that, the file is retrieved from the AWS S3 bucket, and the data will be storing into database, right? So those part will be created in separate process, but we are calling parent process to sub process. Means everything we cannot put into same process. We are dividing for easy understanding. And one more task is once we retrieve the file, we are going to delete the file from the AWS 3 bucket. So that is in the different process.
Correct, yeah.
Right. So we are going to divide those tasks. That means easily can understand. No only delete is a separate process. I mean, that is nothing but move files. that is a different process. And storing into database, that is a different process. Retrieving files from AWS3, that is a different tasks. But all tasks like we are combining by using like a process call shape.
Okay.
Okay. So this written document also, suppose like we are calling parent process, sub process from parent process. Okay. Then still we need some data is required. So what, suppose let's assume we have a parent process A and process B. So process A is sending data to process B by calling like a process call shape. Okay, we are using like a process call shape and calling process B. So process B like calculating some logic and it getting some data. Okay, we are getting some data and this data will return to process A. Okay, well, because like this is a subtask and it's going to retrieve some data, or like after logic is completed we need some data. So this data will be after like process B is completed, and this data we should return to process A. So how we are going to return the data from process B to process A? So that is called, we are going to use like return document shape.
So earlier, so what we do, the error handler, what is the shape is the error handler copy?
So error handler, we are not, it is also process call. It is also process call shape. But in that process call shape, we are no need to require any data from process B, like error handler.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is the reason we are not using like a return document. End of this path.
Oh, okay. So the process calls, there is only one.
Yeah.
Only one shape is available, or I thought some other shapes are the same. No?
Sorry.
No, I thought some other shapes are also there, different shape, like process call. Or is it only one shape available?
That is route shape.
Ah, route shape. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, only thing is we are using like a stop shape. End of this error handler, we are using like a stop shape. Why? Because the error handler, it is not going to return any data to parent process. Why? Because it's not required here.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is the reason we are stopping this process. Suppose it is going to retrieve some data, error handler retrieve some data, and if you want to return some data, and this data we are going to send it to Boomi SFDC account sync. Then we can use end of this path, we can use like return document. Whatever like here it is returning the data will be returned to process A. Then we can use end of this path is process called like return document.
Okay.
So the name itself is like saying return document is nothing but return the documents.
Okay.
Okay, we are going to use like this. Like this, we are going to return the documents to again to parent process.
Okay.
Okay, so return document we are going to use whenever like we are going to use like a process call shape, and the process call and shape we are using return document. That is the one case we are going to use like a return document. Here this is the one case, and second case is when we are going to use return document. Okay. And suppose we have a process, so this process will called by external system. Okay, we have a process in our Boomi, and this process will call by end of like an external system. External system is nothing but outside of the Boomi.
Yeah.
Okay, means our process has a service provider and external system going to call our external system or external applications. External application will call this Boomi process, and means external system requests some data to our process, and our process will return some data to external application. So whenever our process will going to return some documents to external application, then our process going to use return document. End of this path.
Okay.
Okay. Means our process application is acting as a service provider. Means it is something like an API. Okay. So process application should be API. Means it is going to provide some request, some response whenever external application requested for some data. Then process application will receive that request and process that request and sending the response back to external application. So when we are going to send the response back to external applications, the process should be used return document end of this path. So we have two cases we are going to use like a return document. One is we are using a parent process and sub process calls, and one more is when we are going to use web services server. Web services server is nothing but web services server. So web services server is nothing but I will tell you what is exactly. So web services server is nothing but, so whenever we are going to call, our process will called by external applications. Our process should be listen that request, right? External application will call our service. Then our service should be listen that external request. Then how we are going to listen that process, listen that request means our process should always use web services server, web services server, connector. Web services server connector means, suppose this is a process. Let's assume Boomi SFDC account. So this is the process. So this process should invoked by external system. If the process should be invoked by external system, then the start shape should be web services server connect. See, this is the one. Connector should be web services server.
Okay.
Web services server. So this, whenever the connector should be web services server, then our service process should be able to listen external. So this is a listen action. It is going to listen the external request. Okay. So action should be same, so the action should be listen, and operation should be, it has request and response parameters. I will show you how it. Okay. The operation should have, we can make it is request and response, means it's going to listen the request and it's going to respond back to client. Okay. So in that case, we are going to use end of this path and process. We are going to return document in two ways, only two ways. On parent process B, end of the path, we are going to return document to return the documents to process application A. And here, when we are web service server, when we are going to use, when it is like a two-way action. Two-way means we have one way and two way. So right, one way is nothing but, so the request will come, we are not going to send the response back to client. That is like in one way. Two way is nothing but it is a request and response, means we are going to receive the request, we need to send the response back to client. So that is like two way.
Okay.
So in that case, in the two way applications, we are going to use return document. Why? Because we should return the response.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the two cases we have. Let's create one process. How we are going to make it is our service as a web services server. So we already have in SaaS integrations. Otherwise you can create any. Okay, when we are going to create a web services server, means our process should be invoked by external system. Make sure you should select web services server. The connector should be web services server. So make the recommendation. Now let's make it as of now here. Our First we should so as of now I'm going to use like no data shape as of now. Let's and my second task is I'm going to retrieve the data from the Salesforce. Okay, so I'm going to use like a Salesforce connector here. Already know, right? I'm going to retrieve some records, then I'm going to use like a get account, and I already had SFDC connection. I'm going to use like a Boomi training Salesforce, and I'm not going to use this one. Already had in Magesh training, right? Salesforce connection I'm going to use, and operations I'm going to create a new operation here. Okay. And query account by query account by name. Query account by name. I want to query account by providing name and import. I want to return account details and query action. Next. So next, finish. Okay. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send name right as a add expressions, and expressions I'm sending name equals to name equals what happened? Name equals to, and here in the Salesforce the name is equals to this name. Okay, this name equals to I'm going to send. Save and close. And here you can import those parameters. Okay, and leave it as it is as of now. I will tell you how we are going to pass that value. Now we are going to return the response back, right? Sorry, here we are returning some account response from the Salesforce. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this name. Okay, I'm going to send this name from external system. Okay, I'm going to request. So I need my account details. I need my account details. I want to send my name, and it is going to return the documents to back. Okay, now I want, what I'm going to do is it is going to listen our request first. It is going to listen our request first, means it is going to be used web services server. So web services server is nothing but it is going to listen external request. Okay, I'm going to create a operation first. So operation is okay, it is a listen, and so operations type is like we have like in a get method, we have execute and a delete, upset and update and create and query by. Okay, so as of now I'm going to use execute, or you can use like in a get method. As of now I'm going to execute. I'm going to execute the process, and object is and account So you can use anything. As of now, I'm going to query account details. Then my object using like an account.
Okay.
Okay. And here expected input type. Are you sending any input to this process from external system? Are you sending any input? Are you going to send any input to this process?
Okay.
So then you can choose your input. It is a single data, or it is single XML object, or multiple XML object, a single JSON object, multiple JSON object, and multi-part form data. You know that XML data is like a single XML is simple. We don't have like nested objects. If it is a single XML, multiple XML object is nothing but it is contained like an array type, complex one. So like the single JSON is nothing but a simple JSON object, means only one object. And if you want to send multiple JSON objects from external system, you can use like array type of objects. Then you can use multiple JSON object.
Okay.
Complex JSON. Multi-part form data means you are going to send any like an attachments to this process. Then you can use multi-part form data. Okay. So this is expected input type we have to use. I'm not going to send any input. Okay. So in this case, you can use like none. So what you are expecting from this process? Then I need response from Salesforce, right? So I'm receiving Salesforce data by using like XML, multiple XML objects. I'm going to, why? Because multiple XML object is nothing but, suppose with my name, my multiple accounts are there. Then what I can do is I can use like a multiple XML object. So if you with your name only one like an account, then you can use like a single XML object. So this is like a response output type. Single XML I'm going to expecting from our process. And what is the response we are going to receive? So I'm going to receive the response, that is nothing but already we are receiving the response, right, from Salesforce. The same one you should here you can give. This is the response you are expecting.
Okay.
This is the response you are expecting, right? This is a single XML. So we don't have nested objects. See, only under account we have these fields. So we don't have any other object under this account. That is single object. Suppose account has like contact object. Again, if we have contact, under contact we have multiple fields again. So that is multiple object.
Okay.
Nested object. Okay. So this is response profile. This is the output type. What output? It is XML, single XML, right? This is XML only profile. You see, this is XML profile. This is XML profile.
Okay.
That is single object. So that is the reason output type is single XML object, response property. Expected input type, I am not going to send any input from the external system. If you want to send expected input system, then you can create your own XML object. Okay. So like this. And here attachment catchy. So here attachment catchy is nothing but this is something like different. Suppose when we are going to use like an attachment catchy. Okay. So attachment catchy is, suppose let's assume we have one like scenario is here. So that is a different scenario. I will tell you what is the scenario. When we are going to use like an attachment catchy. Suppose external system requesting some data to process, like in our process. Let's assume. So this is my external system, external app requesting some data to our process. Okay. Then our process is going to retrieve data from database.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to retrieve some data from the database. Suppose it's going to retrieve 1,000 records. Okay. Each request it is going to process 1,000 requests. You know, each time it's going to process or retrieve 1,000 records. These 1,000 records, once we retrieve, we are going to store into this cache.
Okay.
Okay. So means in single request we are going to like 1,000 requests are like we are fetching. Let's assume we have 1,000 requests are we are fetching. These 1,000 requests means these are 1,000 responses. Means in database we are entering 1,000 records. These 1,000 records we are going to fetching it, and we are going to store into KG. Means temporary storage area. Then what will happen? Then external system going to request like let's assume like 100 records.
Okay.
Okay. Every hit is going to hit like under request. So whenever we receive the request, first time only we are going to retrieve 100,000 records, and these 1,000 records we are storing into this external attachment KG. Then whenever first request will receive the request, it's going to look at this KG first. Okay. Yes, our requests are like matching to this process, like response or not. Okay. It's going to return this first 100 documents. Means it's not going to again the second request will come, then what will happen and it's not going to fetch the database, and it's not going to return the document from the database. Instead of that, it's going to look at this attachment KG. If the records are already there, it is going to give it back to external system.
Okay. Okay.
Means when the first request when they receive the first request only, we are going to fetch all records and storing into here, and whatever they requested there from external system, only those records will be sending back to external system. From the second request request onwards, what we are going to do, we are not going to fetch the records. Why? Because we already have the records in the cage.
Okay.
So then what will happen, we are going to reduce the database calls every time. Means we are going to improve the
Performance, yeah.
So in that case, that is like a single like a given sample scenario, but I will discuss about this later. So this is attachment KG. We are going to I will give you one scenario when we are going to use exactly. Okay.
Okay.
As of now, here response profile KG. We are going to return some document to back. That is like this account response. We are going to send it back. Save and close. I'm not going to send any expected input type from the external system. It is, and I'm going to use here set properties. In set property shape, I'm going to use dynamic document property DDP and name. Okay, this is the name I'm going to set in dynamic document property. Okay, this name I'm going to set it here static value. Sorry, what is the name? Name is something like test. In parameter tab, I have to provide document property and dynamic document property.
Where you are doing this one?
So here we have to set the name, right? Name equals to. So this value you should pass, right? So this value, what I'm going to do here in set property save, I'm using some dynamic document property DDP underscore name. Okay. DDP underscore name. This DDP underscore name we are assigning like test. Okay. This DDP underscore name is nothing but test. So this DDP name we are going to pass it here in parameters tab. So I'm going to fetching whatever we are setting here. I'm going to fetch it by using dynamic document property. From the document property we have dynamic document property DDP underscore name. We already setting here, right? In set property shape, and it's going to fetch the test value, and we're fetching the test value and assigning to test. Name equals to test.
Oh, name equal to test. Okay.
Right. So name equals to test. Then it's going to pass here. But this name equals to test going to be passed into this operation Last time we discussed this one.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we added a filter.
Yeah. So statically we are added there. Right? So here test equals to test. If test account is there, then it's going to return those documents. Okay. Now we are getting the response. What response? Account response. This response we are going to send it back to who are calling this process. Who are calling this process? That is the reason we are using like a response is same response we are using account Salesforce. Right?
Yeah.
Now we are going to return back. If you want to return back, you can use return document.
So we are getting request from. We are doing everything to Salesforce only, right?
Yeah. We are returning, right? So the documents back. Return documents we are going to use when you're using like a web service server like this. So external system calling and it's going to listen, and we are sending test name equals to name, and it's going to return some response, that account response and XML format, and this account response will send it back to again who are calling this process.
Okay.
You got it, right? Then it's going to listen.
Return document, there is no setting, right?
No settings. Just we are going to give this is return document. You can give the name. That's it.
Okay.
It's going to return the documents back. Okay. So here we are going to use like a test. But see here, Boomi does not currently support the direct testing of listener process. Means it is going to listen the external system, but we cannot test it here.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a package, and I'm going to deploy into production atom or like a local atom. And deploy it, right? Now go to here, auto management. So test environment I deployed and go to deployed process. Now see, this is the web service server, right?
Okay.
Now, if you go to the listeners also, you can see this is the web service server listener. Okay. So you can pause the listener, means someone going to invoke this service, we can pause it temporarily.
Okay.
Okay. We can resume it back. We can restart the listener.
Okay.
Okay. And if you go, so how we are going to invoke from external system? So there is a question, right? So if you want to invoke some process or some service from our Boomi, then we need the endpoint URL, right? So we need the endpoint here. How we are going to we can how can we form endpoint URL? So that is the one. You can go to shared web server here, and a shared web services server, and you can use this endpoint URL. So this is the server URL, basic URL of API request. Okay. Format the this is the endpoint URL of this server.
Endpoint mean like a Boomi server?
Boomi server, yes, Boomi server. This is the server, right? Where we deployed in the server URL it is.
Okay. Okay.
Boomi server means this test server URL it is. So in that server only we are deployed that process, right?
Okay, correct.
Okay. So we are using like a basic. We can use like an intermediate. We have this is the separate topic.
From where to where you deployed? From it was there in different.
See, this is deployed, right? Test environment we deployed.
Yeah, from where to where you deployed? From where?
To where?
you deployed from initially when we set up, right? Which environment it was there? Initially we set up the process, right? See, you are deploying from one atom to another atom, right?
No. Directly we deployed right now.
Oh, it was just
we created a packaged component. That packaged component directly we deployed right from here itself. Generally, we deployed. We can create a packaged component here itself. Like can create packaged component. We can select your process and go to next. Like
okay. My question. Okay. Oh,
yeah.
When we build it was it is not nothing. Sorry, there is nowhere in any atom.
Yeah,
right?
the first time, right? So deploy and you can select.
Okay.
Test environment.
Okay, got it.
I'm not deployed from any other atom or other server.
Okay, because it is a build set, build one, right? Build means like
building,
yeah.
Share web server and go to user management here. So here this is like separate API management. I will let you know clearly. And API management is nothing but so here in deployed process, it is a listener process who are going to invoke our services. So it is not a like we need to like secure your service, right? So when no, it is not a public. We are not going to give like free for public. So it is just commercial or it is like internal purpose only. Then you can secure your services. Then you already have this is the account. Under this account we are deployed. We have some of the servers, and if you want to give your username and password who are going to access your services, then the person only going to be invoked your services. Okay. So here you can generate the token and copy this token. This is the password, remember, and this is the username. Okay. And when we are going to invoke this service, and you should use username and password of basic authentication.
Okay.
And save it. Maybe once you generate this one, you can save it. Now we have endpoint URL. We have endpoint URL. It is, but which service? So in endpoint URL, we have many services are available. Right. One server may have deployed many services.
Correct.
But which service you are going to invoke? As of now, we have only one service. Let's assume tomorrow we are going to deploy many services. Then which service we are going to invoke? Go to your build tab. So when you are going to create an operation, right, query account, so we are going to use something like web services simple execute account. This is the base path. Okay, this is the base path we are going to append after endpoint, like endpoint here. This is the base. This is the server domain, and this is the base path your service. So this is your endpoint URL, and this is the username and password. Now you should invoke from external system. If you want to invoke the external system, so we don't need any external system as of now. What we are going to we can use Postman. You know, right? Postman uses it to test endpoint applications like REST APIs.
Okay, I heard this name, but I never.
Yeah. Postman are like SOAP systems.
Okay.
SOAP URL like SOAP.
SOAP UI, right?
SOAP web services, yes. REST APIs and SOAP web services. If you want to test it, you can use Postman or SOAP UI tools.
Okay. So this one, the simple URL path you copied from the where we created web services, right? That query,
yeah.
The start point.
Yes. Yeah.
I think this is very important, I guess, right?
Now request already have.
Postman, we need any access, or we can open
Sorry?
Postman, do we need to install something like that, or?
Yeah, we can install, like you can download and you can install from Google.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm doing like get method here, and what you can do is, and you can enter endpoint URL. And header and header authorization, right? You need basic authentication required. That is the username. The password. And send request. And body, we are not going to send any request, right? So body, that's it. So send it. See here, we are receiving the response back. Which name is like a test? Which name is a test? Only those records we are receiving.
Oh, yeah, in Salesforce we have already, there is a test name. There is a test account.
Yeah. Salesforce already have test accounts. So that is the reason I given test.
Oh, okay.
If you go to like a process reporting, then see automatically it is like a symbol. Let's see here, listener, please, event listener. It's going to listen. It will listen the request. So it is a request, right? We are requesting their service. We are requesting their service, and it is going to listen that our request, and it is going to respond immediately. See here, it is responding, and it's going to fetching the data by Salesforce account details and giving the response back to Postman from where we are calling, where we are requesting. So that is like a web service server. So in that case, we are going to use like a return dot. We have two ways. And if you want to go to auto management, if you want to stop your listening, then you can pause or resume whatever you want. Right? So here, go to test environment. Here, listeners. You can pause selected listener. So I'm going to select and pause selected listener. Now it is paused. Okay.
Okay.
It is paused. Now
Okay.
the request, it's not going to listen.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. It's not going to listen. Now it is resume. Yeah, now it's listening.
Okay. Postman, where we can see the display the data, right? What we request, and we see the response here.
Yeah, we see the response. Yeah, we are not requesting means we are not sending any input. So we are this process not going to expect any input. Okay.
Okay.
The process not expecting any input. So only we are requesting by sending this URL.
It's not like a source and target. Just to know, we are calling some data from one of the external system, right?
Yeah.
Through
Yes.
Boomi.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, okay, maybe yeah.
So that is like a web service server listener we are going to use. Okay.
Okay. So through web services, we can call anything from any external system, any data from any external system.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also we have let's say so. Suppose you're going to that's whatever like we are sending like name test equals to name something. Suppose you are going to give dynamically. So every time we are getting like only test and test, right? Suppose we should pass whatever you want. So I need like name and my account details like Gopi. So if you want your record like Margate records, if you want some other records, some other account details, you want to give their name. Dynamically, you should pass those names from the your request. Accordingly, we are going to query from the Salesforce. So we are giving like a static value every time whenever we are going to, everyone can hit the same service. Then what will happen? The same test account we are going to receive. Why? Because this test we are like captured there in static value in process.
Correct.
So if you want to pass like dynamically, so whatever you are going to pass name, the only those account details I'm going to query. That is my task. In that case, you have to pass your request in the body. Okay, as a request, you're going to pass as a body, or you have to pass as a query parameter. Okay, so query parameters we are going to, how we are going to capture is forget about it. Just a parameter capture. I think Dina underscore query underscore param. I think 1 second.
So this is REST or this is REST service or SOAP service, whatever you call.
Yeah, it is a like a REST. It is simple.
How it's a differentiator REST and SOAP?
So REST only like support. REST support like JSON and XML object, and also this needs like an endpoint URL like this.
Okay.
Okay, but SOAP is nothing but not we have an endpoint URL, but we need SOAP visual. That web service description language is available. I will let you know those things when we are going to discuss. Yeah, query underscore. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is my process should be changed. My process, I'm going to change my process accordingly. So which name I'm going to receive from the source system, the same name I'm going to use. Here, so document property name is query underscore. I'm going to give a name. Let's see, this one is working or not. I'm not sure. Yes.
We discussed something in parameter, right?
Yeah, 1 second, it's not responding. So here I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to give like a dynamic document property. This dynamic document property, okay, I'm going to retrieve query underscore name. Oh God, what happened? The save is not working today.
Okay.
Create package component, and second version I'm releasing. Deploy test environment. Deploy.
But in parameter, you put a name equal to, right? That is.
Yes. I will tell you. So here name equals to test. So this is the header. It is not available to us. Body and name equals to and body is not saving. Response, we're not just result. 200, okay, but we're not showing the result. Go to process reporting. It's returning 0 means it's not going to query. So this is wrong. It's not going to, means we are not capturing that query parameter name. We are giving name query underscore name. Its name is not querying.
And do you need to change this Salesforce parameter? Or that's
No. So what I'm going to do is here we are sending like a query parameter here. Okay, we are sending like a query parameters. You know, right? Query parameters is nothing but you are going to give key and value in the URL itself. Whatever like you are going to give input, that input you are going to pass in the query like within the URL only. So like this.
Okay.
So we are going to sending name equal to test. Actually, here somewhere we are need to form data like URL encoded. There. We're going to pass like this, name equals to test. So whatever like we are sending this name, this name, this test value you should capture like this, query underscore name. Name means this one. Okay. So means it's going to capture this value of this name, query underscore name. Then this name will be assigned to this dynamic document property. But here it's not capturing. So that is the reason it's we are getting like an empty result. So something is missing. So this is the way we are going to send it. But dynamic process property. Okay. So I think it looks like let me do one thing. Can we make it this one is a dynamic process property, not dynamic document property? Query underscore name. Save operation save button is not working. No, here it is working. But why is this one is not working?
So once we deployed, it will automatically we can call the process, right? Maybe we can schedule the process.
Yes. So whenever we are going to change anything, we have to deploy. I will check this one, why it is not getting. Okay. We'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, Gopi. Okay, thank you.
We'll connect tomorrow.
Thanks.